What's the word, ladies and gentlemen? This is Andrew, and today, February 11th, 2016, we have a fine-tuning update, fine-tuning patch for Dirty Bomb. And they said it wasn't going to be a major update, but in my opinion, these balance changes are pretty huge. And overall, I'm pretty pleased with the balance changes in the game. Some of them are a little questionable. I'm going to get into that. But yeah, I played a bunch of matches. I tried to test as many of these as I can. But of course, you know, because of time constraints, I just wasn't able to get to all of them today. But so I'll just comment on some of the ones that interested me. Don't take that as like me saying, you know, a certain patch isn't important. I know some of you guys could be like, "Oh, Candy, you forgot this one and this one and this one. What about this one? Oh my God." Do apologize ahead of time. It's just, you know, there's just a bunch of stuff here. So first and foremost, it looks like they are trying to be a bit more transparent with how they balance things. They gave us a cool little graph, right? It looks really cool and detailed. A lot of people are wondering how and where they get these numbers from. I'm sure they'll make a comment on that at some point, but for the time being, I kind of appreciate this level of transparency. It's a step in the right direction. I like seeing their thought process. Whether or not that data corresponds to your personal experience on Dirty Bomb, it's a totally different story, right? But apparently this is what they have as an average. I really enjoy these graphs. You guys can check them out down in the link in the description. I'll be sure to link the patch notes, and in the patch notes they have the graph, so you guys can kind of take a look at that. But moving on, let's dive right into the patch notes. Let's first off with Kira and her orbital laser. Apparently now that if you point at a wall, the laser won't like merge with the wall anymore. It'll actually shoot slightly away from that wall. I think this is a buff. Like, it's a little easier to kill people with this laser, because obviously people aren't going to be standing in a wall. Red Eye has a model increase, the hitbox increase to be more like Skyhammer or Stoker. I never really thought this was a problem, but interesting change. Now Sparks Revive Gun, this is interesting because I feel like I don't know, they're just really kicking Sparks in the balls. Well, I guess she doesn't have balls, but kicking Sparks in the ovaries with nerfs. Because right now, the Reviver also will heal for less the farther away you are. So similar to the damage fall-off nerf they gave her, now it's more like a heal fall-off, if that makes sense. I think this is a good nerf because I feel like chain reviving teammates from far away to maximum health is pretty ridiculous, but it also buffs the 3-3 with the get up, right? So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this nerf. I wish I don't know. I guess I'm not that big of a Sparks player to really know. Thunder. This is the big one that everyone was waiting for. When they had said on the stream that they really wanted to change Thunder and make him more powerful, people were really hyped up for this one, but it looks like they went with a bit more careful baby step buffs, right? So they have a cooldown reduction for the concussion grenade. You also have increased stun duration for the concussion grenade, and the radius is increased, and the deployable scramble radius is also increased. Like, these are all very, in my opinion, very small buffs. I don't know if this is enough to make Thunder strong again, or strong period. I don't ever think Thunder was much better than Fragger at all. I mean, he was probably always the weaker of the two. What I would really like to see Splash Damage do with Thunder is to kind of give back that slowdown thing with the mouse. Do you guys remember when Thunder first came out, the concussion grenades would actually slow down your mouse so you can't turn away? I think that was a good move. I don't know why they removed it. I'm assuming a lot of people complained. I think that would be a very good step in the direction. Maybe perhaps give him some way to add 2 seconds to abilities, right? Like, say, I don't know, if you're a facility, you get hit with a Thunder, suddenly your heartbeat sensor will be offline for 2 seconds, or if it was already on cooldown, it will add another 2 seconds to that cooldown. I feel like small things like that would be kind of cool, right? That way it will allow Thunder to kind of run in there and just like destroy people without any retaliation. I could imagine that would be a decent change. Like, could you imagine if you threw a concussion grenade, you kind of like basically silenced people for 2 seconds, if you're thinking in MOBA terms or Dota terms or whatever. If you silenced the fragger so you can't throw out a panic frag, or a Molotov from a Stoker, I think that would be quite interesting. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, but we're gonna move on here. Vasily increased health to 110 HP. This is this may not seem like a big deal to most people, but if you think about it, 100 HP is how much damage a sticky bomb will do. So Vasily is no longer going to have to get unshakable to be able to survive a Fletcher sticky. So this is an interesting addition. I guess they're trying to buff Vasily. I don't think this is enough. Sadly, I think they nerfed Vasily a little too hard here from the past patches with the insta-jib changes and stuff. Augments. Apparently Cool used to impact Rhino's minigun overheat time. I did not know this, but apparently it no longer impacts the Rhino minigun's overheat time. So they fixed the problem that I didn't even know about. Good job on them. Charge, we went over. Weapons in general. BR16. This is an interesting one. So I always thought the Stark was easier for me to land headshots than the BR16. And I'm not going to go through like all the different reasons why I think I do better with the Stark, because that's for a whole nother video. I think it's very, very complicated. But one of the reasons I think why I do better than the Stark than the BR16 is because the Stark has much higher recoil, and that actually helps. People look at the BR16 as the change on the BR16 as a nerf, but in my opinion, I think this is a buff, because by giving extra vertical recoil, I can aim a bit more center of mass, especially in targets way out in distance, which is a lot easier than trying to like pinpoint to their head, right? So I would aim for like their neck area, and I'll be able to chain headshots and like let the gun do the work for me. So I think this is a buff, in my opinion, in my twisted way of using the BR16, right? It's becoming a little bit more similar to the Stark, which is what I'm naturally good at, and taking it out for a spin, I can kind of feel a difference. I feel like I'm landing a bit more headshots. Maybe it's placebo, who really knows, but I think this is a good change. Dryce AR also got an accuracy buff. They reduced the horizontal recoil and maximum spread, both by 10%. I tried it out. I didn't really notice that much of a difference. It's still the Dryce, it's still semi-automatic. Spamming it, you know, that's probably not recommended unless you're pretty close up, and if you're pretty close up, well, you know, you probably, that spread decrease isn't probably going to help you too much, but I don't know. I'll take it. I'll take the buff. Grandier SR also got a nice little buff, reducing the recoil, which is nice, and reducing the maximum spread by 10%. This is a little confusing with the maximum spread. I don't know why they are reducing maximum spread on automatic or semi-automatic weapons. I mean, who in their right mind would spam hipfire a Grandier SR to the point where it maxes out on spread, right? It doesn't really make much sense to me. Whatever the case is, I'm happy with the Grandier SR changes. I just wish they would change the iron sights on the thing. If they just change the iron sights on the Grandier SR, I feel like that's all you really need to do. Slap on the freaking MK46 iron sights. Speaking of MK46, the LMGs also have become much more accurate. The K121 I haven't tested. Apparently it got more accurate with starting spread reduced by 10%, but the MK46, this is a big one because its reload time went down to 3.2 seconds from 4.1 seconds. That's like almost a second like shorter. And I can definitely feel the difference, especially with drilled. Holy crap, this thing reloads pretty quickly now. Maximum spread decreased by 10%, great, because this thing like it can bloom, especially with 85 rounds, and horizontal recoil reduced by 10%. This is also good. I feel like when I aim down sights with this gun, it tends to jiggle from side to side, so this is also good for tightening up that spread. Now, what I would really like on the MK46 is if they just buffed the rate of fire by a little bit and made the bloom per shot a bit smaller. PDP got nerfed. I don't think it's enough, but it increased the recoil by 15%. Funny enough, when the PDP came out, they reduced the recoil by 15%, so or was it 10%? I don't know. So it looks like they're just kind of reverting it back to what it was before. Stark AR, This one is a little weird. So I thought this would be a big kick in the nuts because they increased the bullet spread by 10% and increased the horizontal recoil about 10%. So basically making it way less accurate. I thought this would be terrible. Maybe I didn't play enough with the Stark AR, but I still thought it was a great gun. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell that much of a difference. I mean, I can't hip fire snipe someone far away anymore, but I guess utilizing that pipe scope thing, it kind of is better. Like I find myself scoping a bit more, but for like close CQC to mid-range, I feel like the Stark AR still performs the same, which is very good for me, because if you can't land 3 headshots in CQC, you pretty much win that duel. So yeah, I don't know about the Stark. I think it's definitely a nerf, but I just don't know if how I play this Stark, if it's going to affect me personally. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the Stark AR changes. Called in pistol, this one is an interesting one. They increased the magazine to 8 rounds from 7. I would have liked to see that be more like 9. I feel like 1 extra round is good, but I don't know if it's enough. However, I don't know what it is. I went pistol only Sawbones in a minimum 10 server and I did crazy well. Maybe it's because I was finishing off people, and but then again, I shouldn't say that, because I went against head-on with some people, one-on-one with automatic weapons. I was still able to win. I don't know if that's because I was a better shot than them or what, but the reduced bullet spread by 5% and the reduced recoil by 5%, I mean, they seem like small numbers, but somehow I was landing my shots with the Called-in. With the Called-in, you really have to land those headshots because it hits for what, 19 damage. So if you land headshots, it's pretty decent. I feel like the reduced recoil really allowed you to line up the shots along with the bullet spread decrease. You know, that way you can kind of consecutively chain those headshots on the Called-in. Not that you should be pistol primarying, but I definitely think this is a good step in the right direction. Machine pistols, oh my gosh, this got... I don't know if this is I mean, this is the nerf, but I don't know if this is like a crippling nerf, right? It looks like what they're just trying to do is make the machine pistols more of what they should be, which is CQC weapons. Now, as you guys can see here, the Empire 9 versus the Blitchlock, this is on my BL32 Fletcher. The Blitchlock is way more accurate than the Empire 9. I put on full crosshairs for you guys to see the difference. If I change between them, the weapons, you can see how the starting spread on the Empire 9 is much larger than the Blitchlock, and this applies to me running. So I'm fine with this nerf because it doesn't affect me, because I never really snipe with the machine pistols. I always use them as CQC spray weapons, so this is fine by me. I mean, horizontal recoil is not going to affect me if I'm, you know, butt slapping distance. Overall, this is an okay nerf. I'm not too upset by that. Shotguns, Remberg got a rate of fire increase. They did this to the Hollands, and I tried it out for a little bit. It felt very similar to the Hollands now with its faster rate of fire. Not exactly sure why they did that. Simeon reduced recoil by 5%, and S&W increased recoil by 10%. I haven't tried out the S&W yet, but I don't know why they did that, because the revolvers are always pretty tough to use. But yeah, I think that's just about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this change, like these changes overall. I'm sure a lot of you guys will complain about one thing or another, but overall, what do you think? Do you like the charts they provided? Would you like more of an explanation? Again, my opinion is that in general, I think these changes were good. I mean, there are some questionable ones, like the S&W increasing the recoil. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they made the shotgun, the Remberg shotgun, shoot faster. It's already a really, really strong shotgun. You know, some of these changes are a little weird, but I think overall these are good changes. Oh no, the weird one is reducing the maximum spread of the Grandier by 10%. Like, who spams the Grandier that much where it maxes out on spread? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess until next time, I'll see you in the next one.